I thought I would start just like I started the team meeting yesterday, getting to know these guys, first time around them, 9 a.m. yesterday, and really just telling my story. Walked up in front of them and told my story like this. Jonathan Smith, 44 years old, born in Pasadena, California. Huntington Hospital, but about a mile from the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. Grew up in Pasadena, went to Glendora High School. At that point, playing high school football, it grew in me. I wanted to coach football. Loved it, had a great experience, got toward the end of my senior year, knew I wanted to chase this dream of coaching, and I thought I could do it at the college level to learn more and more. Ended up getting an opportunity at Oregon State University to walk on there. Thought would be I go walk on there at the highest level I could get to is just learn about ball and all of that. Mike Riley, the head coach at the time, looked me in the eye and said, yeah, you're going to be paying for it, but you'll be treated just like everybody else in that locker room. The man stuck to his word, had an unbelievable experience there, learned a ton, friendships, all of that. First year I walk into Oregon State, my first position coach to get exposed to this great game, guy by the name of Paul Christ. Paul Christ was the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, opened my eyes to schematics, which I was desperately wanting to learn about. He treated me awesome for my first couple of years. 2 years into it, Mike Riley leaves, and we're going through a transition. You're going to hear a little bit about that. We're going through a transition. Again, speaking as if to the players, transition, Dennis Erickson comes in, ended up winning a few games the next couple of years, knew I wanted to get into coaching. Dennis Erickson allows me to start my coaching career after that, being a graduate assistant right there at Oregon State. 2 years of being a graduate assistant, I got my first opportunity to be a full-time coach at the University of Idaho. I want to thank Nick Holt for that opportunity. Learned a ton from him, experienced that. Was at Idaho for 6 years, went through 3 different head coaches at that time. Transition, different head coach, schematics, all of that. I learned a bunch through that experience of 6 years. Got to the point, though, I wanted to continue to progress in the profession. Went to the University of Montana. Robin Pflugrad gives me my first opportunity to call plays, be an offensive coordinator. Loved Missoula, Montana for 2 years. And then I got a call after that by a guy named Chris Peterson. Chris Peterson's down at Boise State, gives me opportunity to be a quarterback coach down there. Went down to Boise, 2 years there, great experience. Met a bunch of good coaches at the same time and players. And then after 2 years, Chris Peterson decides to transition to the University of Washington, thinks enough of me to bring me along, go to the University of Washington as the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. Again, transition, new culture, learned a ton from those 4 years. After a couple of years of transition, building the culture, in our third year, we went to the college football playoff. In 2016, sounds like we were following a university the year before in the college football playoff. A great experience in winning the Pac-12 championship, and that led to an opportunity to go back to the alma mater and take on this idea of being a head coach. Place was, got there 6 years ago. A place was not having a ton of success, had some turmoil, different things going on, and was excited about diving into it, learning the players, changing the culture, creating a space where people can do their best work, and we dove into it. Had a lot of great memories, connections, recruiting, brought a staff down there that we put together that worked for 6 years straight. 7 out of the 10 coaches there for those 6 years were there the entire time. You get 10 position coaches, 7 of them were there with me for 6 years. And then, like Alan mentioned, the last couple of years had a little bit more success. Got to the point toward this end of the year, conversations, and I kept coming back to this idea of playing at the highest level, playing in a place where you could fit and be the type of dad, father, husband you want to be, let alone for myself and for the staff want to create. And that leads me all the way to this point, standing in front of you guys now, the team yesterday. That's a little bit of my story.